So I'll give you guys the answer early. Is Jake Paul natural? No. I can say that with pretty certain confidence in that statement.
Speaking of bumps,
went right over it.
Those little bumps you had on your face kind of alarmed me. You wouldn't be happening to taking PEDs, are you?
In a shocking move, Mike Tyson has confronted Jake Paul for using steroids in preparation for their highly anticipated fight. Meanwhile, we know that Tyson's health scare has ignited a cascade of doubts regarding the upcoming match. Observing the unfolding situation with keen interest, former UFC middleweight title holder Michael Bisping has seemingly aligned himself with those opposing the Mike Tyson-Jake Paul showdown. Through a fervently expressed editorial, the esteemed 2019 UFC Hall of Famer has vehemently voiced his reservations about the proposed bout. "I don't know anything about ulcers, but what I do know is that the man is going to be 58 years old," said Bisping. He was reviewing the statement given by the youngest heavyweight champion's representative. "Thankfully, Mr. Tyson is doing great," it said. Further, it read, "He became nauseous and dizzy due to an ulcer flare-up 30 minutes before landing." According to the statement, Iron Mike was appreciative of the medical staff's care for him. Michael Bisping suggested that typically, a man at the peak of his physical condition shouldn't struggle with enduring a stifling airplane journey for a brief duration. Yet, the scenario concerning Mike Tyson's readiness for the fight appears to cast doubts on that assumption. He said, "The fact that he's got an ulcer and he can't sit on a plane for 2 hours, and then the paramedics have to run on. Take him off, probably in a stretcher. That's not a good look. That is not a good look." The "one of us has to die" storyline that Jake Paul has developed makes the episode unsettling. So, making it clear why the fight shouldn't happen, Bisping concluded, "I'm not going to make any jokes at Mike Tyson's expense. You know, I could say someone's going to die before the fight. That's bloody right. Mike Tyson is an absolute legend, but 58 years old, right? This is just a great example of why a fight like this should not be going ahead. Mike Tyson is not the same person we know." Bisping and numerous others may find their arguments met with staunch opposition. Advocates for the bout could vehemently argue that it represents an exciting convergence of a true boxing legend and a crossover star. It's a magnetic draw, promising substantial rewards for both contenders on the financial front. According to Jake Paul, the game is still very much on. In what appears to be a deleted post, he said, "Nothing changed. Don't listen to every Twitter news article. Me and Mike are fighting on July 20th. Everyone is trying to do everything they can to hurt this fight and attack me. You should know about that." On X, he replied back to a feed that featured the old photo of Mike Tyson using a wheelchair at the Miami airport. He said, "You love to make shit up before knowing the facts for clicks, likes. Nothing changed." Mike Tyson even issued a statement on social media recently to reassure his supporters that he was okay. "I feel 100% now, even though I don't need to beat Jake Paul," he remarked. Without question, the Tyson-Paul bout is exciting and fascinating overall. However, there will always be a nagging worry in the back of most supporters' thoughts. Nobody wants to see the cherished Iron Mike suffer anymore. When Mike Tyson and Jake Paul square off in the ring, Nick Ball thinks Mike Tyson will defeat Jake Paul. Tyson is an inspiration to the Brit. Ball told Boxing Scene, "I've watched loads of him, to be honest. I still do to this day. That's what people have been saying. We've got similarities. I like the way he fights." He further added, "All his fights are exciting no matter who he's in the ring with. He'd treat them all the same and go into every fight the same. It's no messing. That's what I like about him. No messing. No wasting time. Straight to business." Asked about what will happen to Paul on July 20th, he had no doubts, saying, "He'll be knocked out cold. He's doing my head in." On the other hand, the boxing community is abuzz with revelations of Jake Paul's alleged steroid use, casting a shadow over his highly anticipated bout with Mike Tyson. Critics assert that Paul, no stranger to controversy, is resorting to underhanded tactics to secure victory. While he's faced accusations of cherry-picking opponents in the past, a new accusation has surfaced. Observers point to a telltale sign, an outbreak of acne and pimples on the left side of Paul's face during a televised appearance. Even Tyron Woodley has weighed in, adding fuel to the fire of suspicion surrounding Paul's methods.
Are you taking PEDs?
No, sir.
Not at all. Okay.
Suspicion has been aroused by his abrupt change in complexion. One post from Drama Alert even raised the potential of steroid use. The post said, "Jake Paul caught on steroid? People think so due to recent acne photo." Although Paul's body is naturally strong, admirers still scrutinize him on his weigh-ins and offer similar criticism. While some rallied to Paul's side, the prevailing response to the post suggested that Drama Alert had indeed nailed the caption. Yet, this isn't the inaugural instance of Paul facing accusations of steroid use. Similar allegations arose prior to his bout with Nate Diaz. Whispers about irregularities in Paul's physique started circulating, piquing interest among observers. When facing Tommy Fury, Jake Paul's physique lacked the luster it now boasts. However, recent footage from his training sessions showcases a significant bulk up, sparking conjecture about potential testosterone replacement therapy. Accusations of steroid usage flood the comment of his videos and photos, but he's not one to stay silent. Instead, the YouTuber took matters into his own hands, heading to his X account to unveil a recent negative test result, pushing back against the allegations. Transitioning forward, it seems Jake Paul is diligently advancing towards an impressive 3-stone metamorphosis as he readies himself for the impending clash with Mike Tyson. At 27 years old, the American pugilist reached his leanest point at 183.6 pounds. However, for his recent engagements, he's been vying at the cruiserweight boundary of 200 pounds. Paul's journey has necessitated packing on the pounds to meet Tyson's heavyweight stature of 15 stone 7 pounds from his illustrious career. The legendary boxer Shane Mosley, who once trained Paul, also hinted that he was there already. Mosley said, "I just saw Jake yesterday. He's 230 pounds. He's big, really big." He said he feels as fast as he does at 185 pounds. According to Mosley's assessment, Paul seems to have packed on a hefty 2 stone since his last match, now hitting the scale at a hefty 16 stones and 4 pounds. What's more, this weight would make him considerably 3 stones heavier than his previous 13 stone and 1 pound measurement when he squared off against the 24-year-old Tommy Fury. Mosley's insight implies that Paul is now matching the weight Deontay Wilder carried when he went toe-to-toe with Tyson Fury back in 2020. Jake was probed on his remarkable move up in weight, and he said, "Allegedly, in my opinion, that's a rumor. I feel like I'd be looking fat if I was 230 pounds. But following it, Jake Paul disclosed that, in preparation for his impending fight, he intends to bulk up to 240 pounds. He won't, however, stop there. In a recent podcast episode, Jake Paul delved into the intricacies of his pre-Tyson fight preparation, shedding light on his unconventional approach to bulking up. Contrary to expectations, Paul disclosed his deliberate weight gain strategy, catching many off guard with the magnitude of his transformation. Traditionally tipping the scales at 200 pounds and maintaining a steady 210 pounds off-season, the YouTuber turned boxer stunned listeners by revealing his current hefty 230-pound frame, showcasing a considerable departure from his typical weight spectrum. Contemplating his recent increase in weight, he credited it to his dedication to indulging in ample food, letting his body naturally bear the added pounds. He marveled at how seamlessly his physique had adjusted to the newfound weight, implying its innate ability to manage the additional mass with ease.
I went to a private event at a restaurant and Shane Mosley was there, and I was just having a private conversation with him, and he put it on a podcast. So
what's the problem with you being 230 though? You're fighting at what, 220?
Heavyweight.
Okay, so
no, it's just like shocking to people that is how much I weigh. I think just because normally I'm fighting at like 200, I'm walking around at like 210.
All the way down to 185 was the lowest you fought, right?
Yeah. It's weird to me that I'm weighing 230.
I like it.
But since this was, noodling after my last fight, I'm just like getting to eat as much as possible, and it turns out my body carries this weight super well.
Furthermore, Paul underscored his conviction that his added bulk would significantly enhance his performance. Inside the boxing ring, he articulated his plan to progressively pack on more pounds, setting his sights on hitting 240 pounds before slimming down to 220 pounds prior to the bout. Paul stressed that working out at a heavier weight throughout his training camp would effectively replicate the sensation of wearing a weighted vest, thereby fostering greater muscle strength and heightened speed when he eventually sheds the surplus mass.
If I'm training for this camp right hasn't started yet, but if I'm training for this camp at 240 and then I cut down to 220, it's basically like I had a 20-pound weight vest on for the whole entire camp. So my muscles are going to be so much stronger, and that speed will.
Paul employs a tactical approach of incrementally boosting his weight before slimming down for the impending match, echoing the prevalent methods embraced by athletes striving to hone their peak physical form for competition. By meticulously balancing his weight fluctuations and training routine, Paul endeavors to amplify his capabilities and leverage his strengths when facing off against Tyson. As the showdown draws near, Paul's unwavering commitment to his preparatory endeavors emphasizes his resolve to deliver a formidable display inside the ring. During a recent interview, Jake ignited a whirlwind of excitement within the boxing community by boldly declaring his intentions for his upcoming bout against Mike Tyson. With unshakable confidence, Paul asserted that their impending clash would transcend mere competition, likening it to an epic war where he stands prepared to go head-to-head with the legendary boxer. Paul's words echoed with intensity as he asserted, "It's war. All is fair in love and war. I love the guy, but as soon as it turned into a pro fight, one of us has to die. He's taking this very, very seriously, and that's what's going to make the fight amazing for all the fans." The weight of his words emphasized the earnestness with which he gears up for the impending match, dispelling any doubt regarding his mindset in the ring. Recognizing Tyson's prowess as a knockout specialist, Paul fully embraces the opportunity to take on the heavyweight legend, even with the challenge of moving up in weight class. While acknowledging Tyson's advantages in size and experience, Paul stands firm, unfazed by the daunting task ahead, understanding the excitement this clash brings for both himself and the audience. He added, "Tyson is a killer. I'm moving up to the heavyweight division, so he's going to have some advantages, but that's what's going to make this fight exciting." Additionally, Paul underscored the shared ability to unleash stunning one-punch knockouts, accentuating the electrifying anticipation surrounding their impending clash. He depicted Tyson as an unstoppable force, fated to thrive in the world of professional boxing, and illuminated Tyson's fervent ambition to elevate the bout to a professional caliber. By stepping up to Tyson's challenge and consenting to raise the bar to a professional bout, Paul showcased his dedication to meeting Tyson head-on, fully embracing the risks and rewards that come with such a monumental showdown. He added, "We both have a one-punch knockout. This is what he was destined to do and what he was born for, and he was the one who wanted it to be a pro fight. We were figuring out the rules and Mike said, 'I want it to be a pro fight. I want to end this kid and stop everything he's doing.' So I agreed to make it a pro fight, and it's as real as it gets." Teddy Atlas, meanwhile, is facing a dilemma because of the impending confrontation. From disparate sectors of the sports realm, dissenting opinions have emerged, and now, a revered boxing mentor casts doubt on the authenticity of the impending bout. Questions persist regarding whether this clash genuinely encapsulates the spirit of pugilism. Adding his voice to the chorus of skepticism, Teddy Atlas has voiced his reservations about the forthcoming fight, in articulating his uncertainties.
This is a very dangerous fight for Paul.
Interesting.
I think he might be making a mistake. Because, first of all, for me, he don't got a lot other than money, and he's made plenty.
With unwavering confidence, Atlas proclaimed his faith in the legitimacy of each of Jake Paul's bouts. However, it was this precise moment that planted seeds of uncertainty in his mind regarding the impending clash with Tyson's credibility. Teddy Atlas underscored the significance of Paul's challenge, cautioning against underestimating Mike Tyson. A loss to a 58-year-old boxer could dismantle his dreams of securing a world championship crown. Additionally, he offered his thoughts on the frame of mind Tyson will probably have before the battle, saying, "This is for the old school. I'm gonna show that even at this age, a guy that wasn't in the game from the beginning is not gonna beat a guy who was brought up to be a fighter." So, it's interesting. I give them both credit. Famed UFC coach Tim Welch boldly asserts that those who underestimate the legendary Mike Tyson in his upcoming bout against Jake Paul are gravely mistaken. Through his analysis on YouTube, Welch emphasizes that disregarding Tyson's ability to surprise, despite being 57 years old and out of the ring since 2020, would be a folly of the highest degree. He said, "Do I think that Mike Tyson has a chance? Absolutely, it's Mike Tyson. He's the true freak of nature, and the rule set favors him." The upcoming showdown promises to unfold across 8 brisk 2-minute rounds, with fighters donning 14-ounce gloves and opting out of headgear. Victory here could sway the trajectory of their professional careers. Welch expressed that encountering Tyson is akin to facing a formidable force, describing him as one of the most daunting figures imaginable. He conceded that Tyson's fierceness might have dulled with time, but stressed that he remains unmistakably Mike Tyson, warning against the folly of underestimating him. Welch added, "Mike Tyson is a scary human being, one of the scariest human beings that you'll ever see. I don't think he's going to be the same ferocious dog that he used to be, obviously, but it is still Mike Tyson. To say he doesn't have a chance, you gotta be dumb, but the chances are not that high just because of the age. Tyson will be most deadly in the opening few rounds of the fight," according to Welch, who corners UFC bantamweight champion Sean O'Malley. However, Welch is concerned about when Tyson's knockout power would diminish. He explained, "I think early on he's going to be scary. He's going to come out there and be able to throw some power, but I bet you he can't train that hard, especially if he's not able to use that special sauce." Additionally, Welch observed Tyson's remarks during the press conference regarding his soreness, expressing a hope that they were in jest. Contrarily, Welch emphasized Jake Paul's youthful vigor and peak physical condition. Welch added, "Even at 57 years old, your testosterone cannot be that high, especially the lifestyle Tyson has had. He's got to be beat down." He spoke at the press conference about how sore he is serious, and he wishes he was joking, whereas Jake Paul is in the prime of his life. Additionally, Welch opines that neither contender will secure victory through a highlight reel knockout, despite Jake Paul's evident physical edge in this bout. Welch conjectured that Jake likely aimed to bulk up, particularly around his neck, to enhance his ability to absorb Mike Tyson's formidable power. He said, "Rumor is Jake Paul's walking around at 230. He's a big kid. He's probably wanted to put on a little bit of size on his neck so he can take Mike Tyson's power." I know all the old school guys are going to be like, "Are you kidding me? Mike Tyson's going to kill Jake Paul," but it's like, dude, we're creeping up on 60 years old. Welch holds firm to the conviction that the reign of the social media sensation will ultimately triumph due to his skepticism regarding Jake Paul's ability to conquer the esteemed boxing champion. Welch asserts that Jake Paul's victory will stem from his adept composure, strategic utilization of his reach, and sustained speed and stamina, leading to a triumph by decision. He cast doubt on the possibility of Jake delivering a knockout blow to Tyson. Welch said, "I think Jake Paul's going to stay tight enough and be long enough and be quick enough and be able to pace himself to get the job done by decision. I don't think Jake's going to knock him out. His head's too big, his neck's too big. I mean, I don't want to say never, but I think Jake Paul is going to win a decision." Almost 80% of those entrenched in the combat realm are openly showing their disapproval towards the looming showdown between Tyson and Paul. Echoing this sentiment, UFC lightweight contender Renato Moicano has directed criticism towards Netflix for their active promotion of the event, emphasizing the notable 30-year age difference between the fighters. During the post-fight press conference, Moicano fiercely attacked Netflix and blasted the gimmick event after winning the UFC Fight Pass Invitational 7. He said, "I think that's crazy, making no sense, but shame on Netflix to promote that. They don't have morals." When a journalist queried the Brazilian athlete about his readiness for the upcoming high-stakes boxing bout, Moicano didn't hold back, unleashing a torrent of disdain for the sport's monotony. While perspectives on the matter might diverge, the MMA fighter's take on the Tyson versus Paul showdown was sharp, pointing a finger at Netflix's avarice in the process. Johnny Nelson, a former cruiserweight world champion, recently expressed his opinion that Jake Paul is strategically choosing opponents who are far past their prime. Nelson's observation casts doubt on Paul's selection of opponents who appear to have long retired, insinuating that it's all a calculated move in the problem child's playbook. Nelson said, "I know, Mike, and I think what Jake Paul has done is buy scalps. You saw Jake Paul beat Anderson Silva. Do you think Jake Paul would have been able to do that against the Anderson Silva we know? The young version that was at the top of his game? No, he couldn't have." Nelson's claim that Jake Paul employs scalp shopping tactics, cherry-picking opponents seemingly past their prime, prompts crucial reflections on the validity of Paul's wins and his sporting ethos. By spotlighting Paul's triumph against Anderson Silva, Nelson intimates that Paul's triumphs may owe more to shrewd matchmaking than to inherent ring prowess and ability. He added, "What he's done again, he's buying a scalp in Mike Tyson. We know Mike, we respect him. We know how tremendous this man was, and how much he dominated the heavyweight division. Jake Paul has bought a scalp." Furthermore, Nelson's insight into Paul's latest move to set his sights on Mike Tyson as his upcoming adversary amplifies the contentiousness surrounding Paul's decisions. Opting to challenge Tyson, a renowned icon in boxing whose prime has long passed, Paul ventures into perilous territory, endangering his own standing and authenticity as a credible fighter. Nelson's depiction of Paul's pursuit of Tyson as purchasing a trophy scalp suggests Paul's inclination to exploit Tyson's fame and legacy for personal benefit, rather than engaging in a bona fide sporting showdown. Nelson further added, "Tyson, if he's going in for the money, well, go on, go for it. Anything other than the money, don't do it, man. Don't do it. Honestly, if you're going in for the money, then it means, I don't care if I get turned over. I don't care what happens to me. I'm getting paid $50 million. I'm 57 years old. I'm getting paid $50 million to fight." Nelson's reflections on Mike Tyson's comeback to the boxing ring at the ripe age of 57 offer a distinctive perspective. Despite the fervent enthusiasm Tyson's return has stirred among fans, Nelson voices apprehension about the underlying reasons propelling Tyson's decision, especially if they lean heavily towards financial gain. Nelson's cautionary words to Tyson about the possible repercussions of underwhelming performances underscore the perils linked with competing at an advanced stage of life, encompassing concerns for both physical well-being and the preservation of one's legacy. He added, "And if that's what he's going to do, and that's what's comfortable doing, that's on him. But I am telling you now, if he gets turned over and turned over badly, it will haunt him for the rest of his life. The $50 million in the bank is not going to make any difference." In a conversation with Boyle Sports, Tony Bellew minced no words when expressing his opposition to the upcoming fight, even issuing issuing a stern warning to Jake Paul about the consequences if Tyson were to be harmed. Bellew's frank comments shed light on the current landscape of boxing, highlighting the potential dangers inherent in headline-grabbing matches. Drawing from his own experience as a former professional boxer, Bellew's apprehensions about the bout underscore his genuine concern for Tyson's safety. He said, "Mike is probably getting between $20–50 million for this fight. I'm not going to lie, I'd do it. Everyone has got a price. But if Jake Paul hurts Mike Tyson, it would absolutely kill me. If he hurt Mike Tyson, and then I run into Jake Paul, I'd chin him, quite happily. I would even spend a couple weeks in the big house for that." Bellew's declaration about potentially confronting Jake Paul, should he harm Mike Tyson, highlights the seriousness of the matter. While recognizing the tempting financial reward Tyson could gain, Bellew's allegiance to Tyson and his reverence for the sport of boxing drive him to denounce what he perceives as a risky imbalance in skill and power. Bellew added, "It's a sad, sad day. It's not a professional contest really, because only women fight 2-minute rounds. Men do not fight 2 minutes, but Jake Paul is so pig-headed, he wants it to go on Mike Tyson's record. Hopefully, Mike chins him and puts him to sleep in 6 or 7 seconds." The ex-cruiserweight world champion's description of the match as a regrettable occasion mirrors his dismay about the trajectory of boxing. Bellew's claim that the bout falls short of the professionalism anticipated in the sport, especially concerning round duration, underscores his view that the event prioritizes showmanship over authentic competition. He continued, "The age Tyson is at, he could be Jake Paul's grandfather, so it's sad really. It should have been left as an exhibition. But that's who Jake is. He's after clout and fame. I just hope Mike has that one punch left in him. He will never lose that punch. He's lost the snap and sharpness of it, but if he turns a right hand over and hits Jake Paul on the chin, the boy is going to sleep." Make sure to check out some of our other videos on the screen if you enjoyed this one.